Alright, what's going on everyone? Welcome to my channel. My name is Liness, and today I have a couple of Hoyas that are well overdue for a repot, so let's get right into it. So first of all, I'm going to start with my Wobo Gray Silver that has grown tremendously. Yeah. I had considered taking a couple of cuttings, but the tendril is so long, so I still have so many leaves that can grow, so I don't want to disturb it, so I'm going to let her grow, and maybe when it goes around the trellis, I think I am going to take some cuttings. But wow, I am just in love with this plant. I don't think I've seen it in a full size. A lot of people are just selling like very small cuttings, so I had not seen one this long, and I love it. So I can't imagine like a full trellis. So I made this, God, I'm out of breath. I made this makeshift trellis out of a hanger until I can find a good wire, and my dad got sent find me some galvanized wire. I have a huge roll, so trellises 4 days. So this is my current situation with my Wobo Gray Silver. The roots are absolutely healthy sitting in the water reservoir, but I don't want to take the chances, so I think it is time for a repot. I'm not going to super up pot it. The pot is quite small, just a little bit bigger than the condition it's in right now. And because it has some pretty wide holes and I use pond, you already know I'm gonna line the bottom with some produce net because it works. Like this, hope you can see. And I don't know, I might actually use the same wire because the white with the silver, I think it's a good look. I'm going to use the zip ties to hold it in place. Sometimes with the pond, you don't actually need the zip tie, but I like to keep things secure. So I made really small holes with my little welding tool. Oh my God, I'm just Miss Butterhands right here. Alright, so it is secured. It still wiggles a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's more secure than if it didn't have the zip ties, alright? So, and I have some pond here to my side. So I want to try, I am willing to cut the cup because I don't want to disturb the roots too much. I mean, sometimes it's inevitable. You're going to get a little bit of root damage. That's fine. But gosh, the roots look so healthy that if I can save them, that would be awesome. I forgot to put the wick in the pot first. Inevitably, some roots are going to get damaged because they're entangled in the wick. So there's kind of like no way around that. See, like, that was a root. Oh, this breaks my heart tremendously, but I have to do it. Oh, I don't want to do it. I think that's one of the downsides of semi-hydro, but there's just no way around it. And oh my God. I try so hard to avoid it, but Like I said, sometimes there's just no way around this. So charge it to the game. I'm so hurt. I'm so sad because now she's going to try to recover from that. But I had to do it. I had to do it. Alright, so I have this cute little planter that fits just perfectly here to still wick some water at the bottom. And I'm not going to add water at the bottom just yet, just because the pond is so wet right now. I'm not going to add water just yet. And that is it for my Wilbur Gray Silver. I'm actually going to spray it lightly with some sulfur water down because one of the newest leaves fell off, which is not normal. And then she has stalled. So she grew all these leaves and kind of hit a stop. She hit a wall. And that's not normal. So I have to order some beneficial mites, but in the meantime, that's what I'm going to do. Just very light sulfur because it can be very strong for your plants. I'm not sure if I have the right situation for my Australis because I want to pot the whole thing in a single pot, but it might be too small what I got. She already got growth points. And it looks so beautiful all together. So I want to put her with her siblings. So again, I have this pot, my little produce net. And I was going to put a trellis, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm gonna let her grow a little bit and then we'll see. She has rooted so quickly. So if I had one advice when it comes to Hoyas, if you want to buy cuttings or if you want to take cuttings of your Hoyas and you want the highest success rate, personally, I would suggest getting a heating mat. I got mine from Amazon. And if you can provide some sort of humidity, whether it's in a bin, you're up for great success. So high humidity, a little bit of heat, and highlight if possible. And you are for sure going to have successful cuttings. Like, what? Crazy. I'm not going to remove too much of it because it is going into pond. Pond got perlite, very similar substrate. So, like, what? Just gonna shake up some of it. And this is the actual mother plant. All of that was in this tiny little pot. So I know this thing has to be root bound. This hurts my soul. Half of the root system stayed in the pot. I don't know if y'all can see. Oh my God, the root ball in this thing is massive. Ooh, I definitely did this one dirty. Yikes. And let's see if I can pot everybody together. Wow, I did not think that was going to root so much. This one didn't do that good, and my assumption is that this was the top cut. The leaves are a little more juvenile, so maybe that's why. But everything else, success. So this is gonna be the situation. As much as I want to reuse this pond, it's got so many dead roots, so I'm not going to do that. This was definitely going to be now in an actual semi-hydro situation, because the way I had it before, it was just in this pot, and it would sit right at the bottom of the decorative planter, so it would wick the water and then stay dry for long periods of time. So she definitely withstand long periods of drought. Gonna give it a good shake. You know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where my head is at. I keep forgetting to put the wig. So I'm going to finesse it right now because I'm not going to unpot it. No, thank you.
This is not the color. Bye.
I think that's going to do the job. This is my decorative pot. Boom. Look at that. I got my full pot of an Australis. Listen. So the next plant I'm going to repot is my Argentia princess. And I thought I had a pot situation for it planned out, but I don't. So in the meantime, I'm going to use some good old empty seasoning jar that I sterilized. And this is going to be her home for a little bit. So I know she rooted. This one was quite slow if you ask me. Still no visible growth point, but that's okay. As long as we have roots, we can conquer the world. I'm actually going to use the same exact cup. And I don't have my welding tool here. I don't want to wait for it to get warm. So I'm going to make some small cuts. There it is. And I'm gonna get some of my wicking cord. I get a roll from Amazon. This is actually my second roll. I've used it in a ton of my plants. All right, let me make sure it's long enough. Perfect. And I'm not going to put a trellis on this one either because I know that this is going to be a temporary home. And you probably hear my kids in the background. I can't avoid it. This is the life I live. They're a big part of my life, if not my entire life, so they're gonna make little appearances in my videos. Okay, last but not least, I have my sigillatus. It was marked as a sigillatus Borneo, but it looks a little different than my other sigillatus. So May the real Sigillatus Borneo please step up. Or step forward. I don't know. Boom. This was actually a free cutting. I think I showed it in one of my videos already. But this was a free cutting that I got with... It was one of my orders from the Facebook Marketplace. I'm not too sure. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, it rooted. I told y'all, perlite don't fold. You want your Hoyas to root perlite. And this one wasn't in my cabinet. This one wasn't in a heating mat. This was just sitting right on my shelf with highlight though. And here we are, still rooted. So I really think that perlite is your best friend if you're trying to root Hoya cuttings. And I always kept the water about that high, just enough to touch the stem. And again, I'm going to reuse this pot. I should have made holes with my welding tool, but I forgot. I think the biggest difference that I see with my heating mat and the high humidity is the time. When I use the heating mat and I put them in my cabinet, obviously they're going to root a lot faster because they're in an optimal environment. But perlite alone still works. Just make sure you give it enough light. Not going to forget my wick. And I'm going to try to link everything that I've used in my description box, including these little stakes. When my Hoyas are not long enough to go on a trellis, I sometimes use this to give them support. I actually have quite a few Hoyas that are using these as a support, and I love them because they come with those little butterfly clips. So great find on Amazon. And if you shop my legs, just know I may get a little commission from it. The wick is substantially long, actually. I'm going to cut some of it. I don't know why at this stage of the game I don't have a proper scoop for repotting my media, and I'm using a planter, but that's nor here nor there. I forgot my lights go out. Hold on a second. All right, we're back. I have my lights on a little timer to shut off at 9, and it seems to be 9. All right, there she goes. Oh, so pretty. I think it's perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna add some water with fertilizer. So I have some rainwater with fertilizer. So the fertilizer I've used for years, I want to say since 2019, is the Jack's Classic Houseplant Special. And this is a 15-30-15 for potted plants. This is actually like my third tub. I wasn't using it as content. I wasn't using it as constant as I'm using it now, so I didn't used to fertilize my plants very often, so that's why it's barely like my third tub. But it's the only thing I have used in my entire collection. So any growth that you see, any progress, it is strictly from this fertilizer, and you can get it on Amazon as well. However, they have an all-purpose 2020 that I've been eyeing for a while. I wanted to try it. The tub is bigger. So I'm going to start trying this one out. But I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. Plus, I saw from somebody, I can't remember, on Instagram, that in their highlights, I was checking out what they use for their Hoyas, and they recommended a 2020. I just got so paranoid. I'm like, who is ringing my doorbell at 9 p.m.? Nobody visits me, so I was confused. It was my parents. They thought something happened to me because I wasn't picking up the phone. They live right down the street, so they thought something happened. But I told them I was just making the video. I'm going to add a little bit of water to the reservoir. I know I said I wasn't, all right? Don't judge me. But I'm only going to add a little bit so they can recover from the trauma I just put them through. So I repotted my Wilbur Graves Russia off camera because some of the leaves are doing something completely weird. So it was growing like one leaf, and then the other one on the node was not growing, and then one leaf, the other one in the node didn't grow. Another leaf, the other one in the node didn't grow, and this one actually fell off. At least these two other nodes, the leaf is still there. It's just a baby. But I know that that can be good. So I gave it a sulfur bath. And then I let it sit for a little bit in my garage, and I washed it off because I don't want that flying around my house. But I have to use that in the meantime. I'm going to try to get my beneficial mites soon. I definitely like the beneficial mites so much, and I don't think I'll ever go back to use like sprays and stuff like that because the sprays were rotting my roots. I think that when people say that pond doesn't work for them long term, it's because of that. It's because you are probably either overwatering it or you're using a spray form of pest control and you're rotting your roots. Because personally, I have found that that is the only thing that hurts my Hoyas and pond. When I was using End All, it's great. It kills mites on the spot, but it's like my roots were getting watered a little too constantly. So not only do they have a reservoir at the bottom, but I was spraying the top of the media as well. And they were like, alright everybody, I did not notice my mic died at the end of the video, but thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!